This is Engadget. Here's what's happening in the world of technology. Today is January 23rd, 2023. In honor of this year's Penguin Awareness Day, the British Antarctic Survey announced the existence of a previously undiscovered emperor penguin colony in one of the most remote and inaccessible parts of Antarctica. Scientists spotted the colony, the 66th to be found on the continent, by comparing satellite imagery captured by the European Space Agency's Copernicus Sentinel-2 mission and Maxar's WorldView 3 satellite. The photo, seen embedded in the text version of this article, is the one that led the British Antarctic Survey to the colony. The brown stains that contrast against the stark white ice and snow of the Verleger Point in West Antarctica are the accumulated guano droppings seabirds like emperor penguins leave behind when they need to relieve themselves. For the last 15 years, the British Antarctic Survey has been searching for new penguin colonies by using satellite imagery to spot the telltale poo stains. Of the 66 colonies humans know about in Antarctica, exactly half have been found using satellites. This is an exciting discovery, said Dr. Peter Fretwell, one of the researchers who led the study. But like many of the recently discovered sites, this colony is small and in a region badly affected by recent sea ice loss. As The Guardian points out, emperor penguins are the only known penguins to breed on ice. That makes them particularly vulnerable to climate change. The birds need the ice around their colonies to last between April and September to give their offspring enough time to grow. If the ice breaks up before that, the chicks fall into the water and drown or freeze, Fretwell told the outlet. One recent study predicted most emperor penguins could become extinct by the end of the century if the world's nations don't find a way to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And electric plug-in hybrid and fuel cell vehicles accounted for 18.8% of all new car sales in California this past year, according to data shared on Friday by the state's Energy Commission, CEC. In 2022, California residents bought 345,818 zero-emission vehicles, ZEVs, a 38% increase from a year ago and a 138% jump compared to 2020. In what should come as no surprise, Tesla vehicles made up most of the ZEVs people in California bought last year. About two-thirds of the 345,000 ZEVs sold in the state in 2022 were made by the automaker, per France's AFP news agency. With EVs and other zero-emission vehicles making up nearly one-fifth of new car sales in California, the state still has some work to do on the adoption front. In Norway, for instance, electric vehicles made up 65% of new car sales in 2021 and 79.3% in 2022. That said, the country's largest car market did some heavy lifting relative to the rest of the U.S. The CEC says 40% of all ZEVs sold in the U.S. were sold in California. It's also worth taking a moment to point to the scale of the California car market. When EVs made up 65% of new car sales in Norway, the country's dealerships sold 113,715 EVs. That's about a third of the number of zero-emission vehicles sold in California last year. In any case, EV adoption in California is likely to increase significantly over the next few years. Ahead of the state's 2035 ban on the sale of new gasoline and diesel-powered cars, the CEC announced last month it would spend about $2.6 billion to build 90,000 new chargers across the state. The California Air Resources Board set aside another $2.6 billion to incentivize consumers and companies to switch to electric vehicles. If you want to catch the latest tech news as it's happening, check out Engadget.com or tune in again every weekday.
Spoken Layer.